Alright, so this is the Unit 3 project already. Basically, utilizing the same exact boxes, we have created a explosion with the sound. The sound was straight from UDK. I did not create my own sound for this, but basically it has some particle systems and a force. So basically these boxes are going to explode down from the bottom, and then it's going to play a sound, and we're going to have some nice fire effects. But before I show you what the level looks like, I also want to show you, before we get started, let's jump into the material that I used for the fire. Pretty simple, darker in the middle, a little bit of fading, and then towards the end we have a lot more fading and some actual fire wisps that are all around. Hard word to say. Sorry. All these fade out, and with the alpha and everything, it looks really nice. Didn't really do too much to it. Straight, emissive going into here, the opacity going into here. Didn't really change anything up. There you can kind of see the fire a little better. Leave that as it was. I tried around with addition and things like that, and multiply, but just didn't care for it too much. So I'm not going to save that. Also, I played around with the texture, basically the sprites cycling through, but I didn't like the way that it turned out, and it wasn't because of the way that I was doing it. Everything turned out fine, but I should have used an actual smoke texture. You can see this is kind of, for lack of a better word, janky. It just did not turn out the way I wanted it. The opacity and everything did, but in the end it just wasn't what I was looking for. So there you can see the opacity just a little bit better. We'll leave that as it was. So smoke didn't turn out too well, but what I was really happy with was the fire effect that I got. We can turn that off. Really turned out nicely. Now it kind of looks crazy here because it's on a black background, but I've changed around quite a few of the settings so that I was able to get it to actually be wide at the bottom, taper off at the top, and sort of fade just a little bit, not too terribly much. We've also got some rotation on it so that it doesn't look completely flat. I think the rotation gives it a nice effect. Let's see. Yeah, whoops, we'll leave lifetime on. Not sure what it did there, but we'll make sure that I didn't just break something. That's the way that it is. You go into start trying to explain something and then you mess something up. Alright, so back to where we were at. So we've got everything set up. Also, I wanted to add some embers coming off the top of it, and I was getting a real nice rotation and everything going. You can see there, strictly utilizing the same fire effect. And also I added another emitter with a different orbit so that they kind of fly around differently, and whenever you put all those together, you get a nice convincing fire. I liked it anyways. So close that out. I don't think, oh yeah, the Kismet. This is definitely not the prettiest Kismet that I could have probably made, but just to kind of explain what's going on here. Typical trigger goes to a toggle, toggle on touched, untouched, toggle off, and then we have our force, radial force. We have our emitters, which are basically just the fire that I showed, and we also have an explosion that was built into UDK. I think it's, I'm not sure which one it is. Also, the instigator for the touch is put to player so that nothing else can touch it. Not really much going on in the scene that could touch it, but there's another reason why I used it. Excuse me while this saves. So, also on the target for the toggle, we have a point light. And the point light is going to go off whenever our explosion initially happens to give our fire a little more life. And we've connected the toggle out to modify the health. We're going to take 50% off since we're in pretty close proximity to an explosion. And the target is the player. So now that we've got all that running, oh, also we have the sound here that gets played, but you kind of all know how that works. So, without further ado, let us check out the explosion and everything that happens. Notice levels lit pretty much the same way. I really need to add some lights in here so it doesn't just look, you know, phantom lights. Anyway, I left this visible so that you could see where to activate it. I didn't make a switch, but it's there. There's a switch. So we're going to back up into it and then watch what happens. You can see the explosion, the fire, we got the light happening over here. I think that's a little bit of a light map problem, but ultimately I really liked the way this turned out. I think it looks pretty cool, and the only thing that I'm having a problem with, you see, I'm not sure why this happens. I think it's some of the physics, or yeah, the physics objects on the wood are getting kind of splayed around the area. So you can see how they kind of, well, that one didn't do it. Oh, this is going to be really hard to show. Let's try to hit it a little higher at the top. Yeah, it bounces off of something, and I'm not sure what that is. That may be the force bubble sphere that is causing an interaction. It may be able, as if I am like able to be touched or able to be interacted with physics objects, probably something along those lines. Also, I did not add any damage in the fire, so you can just kind of stand in the fire, nothing happens. So check it out one more time. Again, where's the, yeah, there it is. Yeah, I really dig it. I think it turned out pretty cool. And yeah, if I could just fix some of those small little things, I would definitely going to be doing that next week, try to figure out exactly what the problem is. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun making this project, because I really like that fire. It turned out pretty cool. Alright, thanks for watching.